Welcome to the Smite Forest Chronicles, brought to you by Baby Moons. They're the best. As long as you're not trying to hike some sort of crazy thing, they're the best. God mode off. All right. So when we were last here, Stefanos wasn't here. So we'll do a quick recap. You guys made your way through the Great Peak Mountain Pass. You dispatched, took care of, and otherwise got past the ogres that had set up a bit of a trap there, trapping travelers who come through that very thin one-way passage. You made your way into the Badlands, right? You left the lush greenery of the forests and made your way into sort of the harsh terrain of the Badlands, kind of like a deserty material. On your way through, you had a couple of uneventful nights, if I'm not mistaken. But alas, your luck did not hold out, and you found yourself face to face with Alamia and some jackalwares. Alamia is sort of a half, Estefanos is sort of like a half lion, half human. It's a very shady character. So you saw Alamia off in the distance, and it disappeared, and then up walked a person who, just wanted to engage with your camp and talk to you guys, but you weren't having it, and realized that it was actually the Lamia in shapeshifter form. The Lamia then called forth its jackalwares, and you guys began a battle. I'm going to take us to that scene before I continue anymore, and then we'll talk about some of the changes to the user experience. So Badlands Travel, activate. So you guys you've set up camp. You guys went with a full camp option, which I approve. Since dispatching the Lamia, the evening has set upon you and started to cool off, and David's finding out that he can't move yet. The spiders are coming out and starting to crawl around as the temperature cools down. And with the last session, Tyros, you were the leader, correct? Would the party like to retain that leadership stack rank, or would you guys like to revote?
That works for me, keeping as leader.
Are you okay with that, Mr. Tyros?
I am fine with that.
All right. Well, then, no matter what Stefanos cares about, like it's 2-1, no matter what. So it's either unanimous or 2-1.
Stefanos would like to be leader, I would transfer ownership.
Whoever wants to be leader, I don't care. Just you guys declare it on the count of 3, 2, 1. Who is it? Silence equals Tyros. We'll just default to the last one. All right. So you guys have sort of regrouped on camp. You've looted the bodies. You've taken their goods, and you're sort of sitting around, sort of contemplating what's next. It's 7 p.m. It's getting dark out. You're making your way through through this Badlands on your way to the mines of Tethyamar, which is where you're hoping to locate one of the Wayfinder pieces. It's quite the journey ahead, quite honestly. You've heard rumors of some stops for food and water along the way. You've yet to come upon one of those, but your provisions are holding out, and they're fine for at least for now. That brings us to now. So your next steps are to continue your journey. There really are no other next steps unless you want to go back, which you do you. So I'll take this moment now to talk about some of the changes. Glory's not here to appreciate it. I know that she likes to know stuff. So now if you guys bring up your journal, you can do that by hitting J. I think it's J, right?
Yep.
I got to get back into the right mode. You have to be in player mode for the journal. My J's not coming up. Is it coming up for you guys?
Yep, came up for me.
All right, well, I had to hit my little macro. And if you go to your quests folder, it's on the upper left. We'll work our way across. You'll see that I've rejiggered some of that and included one other thing. So one is Smite Force main quests. Those are the main. So those of you who game, this should be obvious, right? You have your main quests that further the narrative of the game, the overarching big stuff, and your big main quest is the Arcanic Wayfinder right now. But You also have side quests that will pop up from time to time. So things that you can do that aren't necessarily related directly to the main quest, but there's some things you can choose to do or not to do. For instance, I've added one called Badlands Desert Oasis. You've heard rumors of a desert oasis. See if you can locate it. Maybe talk to the vendors there. Who knows what's going to happen. You also have another one called Personal Quests. Personal quests are quests that will be unique to your character. The party can go with you and help you do these things, or it might be something solo. Right now there's one called Glory's Gear. Glory lost all of her gear due to drawing from the deck of many things. You know, be careful when you do that. So she's in the process of regaining her gear. So if you click into it, you'll see that I've got some broken links I've got to fix. But aside from that, her and I need to check off what she's already got. And then this will keep track of, over time, this will keep track of what she's found, what she's not found, what she wants, what she doesn't want, and then she can clear off this quest. These quests will likely be related to your backstories or to something that happened in game, right? So the next is, and this is a thing we've had forever, but none of you have probably ever looked at. It's called Encounter Statistics. So if you click on it, you can see campaign statistics. This will tell you interesting things around, most natural 20s, right? And it'll tell you which characters have had the most natural 20s or the most kills. So right now, you can see there's a good number of things going on there. You can also look at individual sessions, which I don't really like how they've laid these out, but like if you go to the first one, 26 hammer, 1495, blah, 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 you can see that it's the statistics for this game, or for this round. So this was the last one that it tracked was the Wayward Spirit Cellar. And you can see how many rounds, what your hit points going in, going out was, who had the biggest hits. It's a pretty fun stuff. So yeah. So there you go. So this will always be in the quests tab.
There are some characters in here I think that might be from a different game. Got like Zana,
they're probably they're NPCs.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So it'll show the NPCs. I'm actually going to disable NPC tracking because it just makes it too heavy. But you can see this thing has been running for you guys for a long time. It scrolls way down. Or maybe I deleted some of them. I don't know. But anyway.
Apparently, I went for most natural ones rolled.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think they're fascinating. I would kind of like it to not track the individual sessions and just basically be a scoreboard for you guys, so I may work on that myself. But there's that. The next tab over is as you learn about things, it will show up in your lore tab. So you won't see everything, but right now, like you see, there's lore around the Burden of Knowledge. That's the actual game we're playing, right? Where you can sort of understand the background. In case you forget how to, we talked about this like years ago, the prologue that led up to this moment, and then you get to a couple of other categories. One is the beings of the burdened world, right? So you've come across the Black Cult of the Dragon. So there's now an entry, think of like an encyclopedia, about the Black Cult of the Dragons. These are the things that you would have known, learned, been able to research over your time. And there's a lot there, right? So, you can research all you want. You've got a little bit about that. You've got a little bit about the Harpers. There's a little bit about Tiamat, the Dragon Queen, which has been touched on, but you guys haven't learned a ton, right? I don't know why the Buffy the Vampire Slayer just started playing here. I'm gonna turn that off. Same with Baphomet, right? So you know that Tiamat and Baphomet have something to do with the Black Cult of the Dragon, right? What exactly? You're not so sure. So there's that, and then the next section down is a geographic compendium. So of like the places you've delivered. I haven't created one for all the places you have, but you're going to see one for Daggerford, for Lork. So as you experience places, you're going to get that sort of geo information added to your lore. I would expect other compendiums around probably herbalism, right? Crafting, sort of crafting and gathering sort of a lore will also start to show up. But this really just sort of rounds out and gives you guys a place to go to re-ground yourself on what the hell this world that you're living in. because it's always just right now. It's just all memory. It's all recall, and I wanted to things that were sort of knowable and durable. I wanted to put there. The next tab over for those who are playing along is maps. Really, and I think I talked to Curtis about this yesterday. Originally there was Fog of War where you would only see where you've been, and I said, no, we're gonna poo-poo that. I think from a maps, if you've been to that area, or you own that map, so you have a map of Farron, one of you holds it. That means that you could at any time lay it out and look at your map. So I didn't Fog of War it. So if you look at Greater Farron is a good example. You're going to see some things. For instance, you see little yellow exclamation points. I've added those for you. Just so you know, you right click to drag to move it around, left click lets you drop a pin. So you can now drop pins on the map and add notes, right? So while I've added, the current Wayfinder parts, you found one in Daggerford, you're on your way to get one at the Mines of Tethymar, you know that you found one in the Aquatic Crypt in Flan, and through your shenanigans, you found out that there's a Wayfinder. The orb is somewhere above Whitehorn, right? Just beyond, I believe, the Citadel of the Raven, which I'm sure that Gloria is going to want to visit at some point. But this gives you all of Farron. There's a big green X, and in each session, I'm just going to move that X to sort of where you are. So on your map, that's where you are right now, on the Black Road. All right. The next tab over is your personal journal. This is now where you take notes. And in that, so if you want to take a quick note now, just hit J for journal, and this will pop up, right? And as you can see in the upper right-hand corner, there's a little edit, so you can edit your notes. When you edit it, a little edit window pops up. Take your notes, you're good to go. You can keep that little window open all the time if you want for taking notes, but they will all show up here. Anything you put in that little note window will show up here, including your each section. So it's one note to rule them all. So every H1, if you look at the top where it says format, if you make a line H1, that creates a heading in the left-hand side. So that'll be your H1s, H2s, H3s, just like HTML. Makes sense? Now, that's awesome. That's your personal stuff. The next and final tab is the party journal. The party journal is where you can the crowdsource notes. These appear to everyone in the party. So these are shared with all of you, right? So Tyros, if you type something here, it's going to appear for everyone, right? And when you hit the edit on here, it will actually, you can edit real time together, and it will manage all of you editing at the same time. So you do you. Does this all make sense? I think the map and the quests are going to be probably the most two we hit in most of the time, especially the quests. But that's how we're going to track things. So this is our new final system. I'm not doing anything else. We're not introducing new systems. We're going to use this quest system and lore system. It's all sort of all you can eat, and it solves most of the problems we've had, which is where am I on the map? That sort of thing. So I'll be removing any legacy. I've migrated all of your notes over, so any notes that you had are now in your personal notes here. Does that make sense? Now you may ask yourself, well, what if I don't want to open up this big thing? Two things. One, if you move to the upper right-hand corner of that window, you can have it open in a window if you want. I don't think it's as good that way. The other way is if you close out of it, and I need to find a way to close out of it because my hotkey is not working. But if I close out of it, if you go in the upper right-hand corner into your journals, that little journal tab up there, it should show up in your journals as well, old school. So under your Smite Force quests, you should see the journals you have access to. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
This is awesome.
So that was a big change. I did a ridiculous amount of effort to upgrade all of that stuff. I've also simplified a lot of the modules again, improved a bunch of things. The other thing is now when you open up your character sheet, and I will open up Stephanos. And it's hard to get to Stephanos because for some reason it's wanting me to choose campsite. So I need to bring Stephanos to the top. Alright. Anyway. Okay, so when I click on Stephanos, for some reason I'm seeing the old character sheet. So we want to flip out of the old character sheet. And you do that by clicking the gear, and then for where it says this sheet, choose default sheet. So whatever I choose as a default is what's going to show up for you guys. And this will give you guys your fancy new character sheet. And I'll make sure that all of you have it. Jarn does. Tempe does.
I do.
Glory does. So one of the other things I did is I took all of your characters and migrated them into the new system for you. So you now see that you have what your race is, what class you are, all that stuff is now there. I did my best guess to sort of move favorites in for you, but you guys can configure those yourself. The way you go into edit mode is in the upper left-hand corner, there's a little wrench. If you click that, it puts this into edit mode, where you can change stuff that you're allowed to change.
Are you showing something?
I'm talking to you guys.
Oh, well, okay. I was just wondering because you were what you were talking was sounded like you were showing something. So
I'm looking at it. But so what I'm saying is I said open your character sheet. In the upper left-hand corner is a little wrench.
Oh, left hand.
Yeah.
I was looking on the wrong side.
And if you click that wrench, it toggles your character into edit mode. That's where you can do things like change your favorites or whatever else, right? Down the right side, we've covered this last week, but you'll now see that there's tabs, and those tabs now work appropriately. Okay? You need to prepare spells, you need to do what you normally do, and you use this character sheet to do all of that. We still have on the left-hand column that little green finger pointing to the left in your tools. That still works. That's still the quick way to do things. Just be warned that in your character sheet, and I'm surprised that I don't see anything in the chat window yet. In the old days, you would click on it and it would expand. Now, if you click on it, that's the action. The whole bar is the action. I think it's pretty weird that they changed that whole. I think clicking the icon was so much more intuitive, but that's not what you do anymore. Now, when you mouse over it, it brings open a little pop-up window that tells you the details. Now, you might ask, what happens if there's details are too much? How do I see all of them? I go over to the sidebar thing. That's the easiest way because it operates the old way, right? Where you can expand and collapse things out the old-fashioned way. What else? So if you cruise through them, you'll see inventory. And the top of your inventory, you now have other containers you hold. So if you have another backpack or if you have a special bag, that's going to have your stuff. For some of you, I went ahead and put stuff in a backpack for you. I think I did that for you, Dinjarin, just to make sure it worked. Let me look. Yeah, so in your special bag, there's stuff in there, right? That's how you monitor your encumbrance. If you look at your encumbrance bar at the top, it's right next to your portrait when you're in the items mode or in the inventory mode. Like Stephanos is 162 of 195. Curtis is 159 of 240. Right, he can carry a lot more. So encumbrance matters because once your encumbrance hits a certain amount, you're only going to be able to move half your distance. And if you get even more encumbered, then at some point you'll just not be able to move at all because you're carrying too much stuff. Now, that brings us to, and then we'll come back to the character sheet in just a second. That brings us to something new for all of you. Characters, Smite Force. There's a new hero that you all own. It is this fabulous Smite Force character. So your little brand mark has now come up. It's now a character on the thing. So you have access to this via the Actors tab, or you have access to it if I drop it onto the screen. So if you click it, this is a party view. This is new to the system. So you can see each of the characters that's in the party. You can see the hit points they have. There's a second tab that's called Inventory. This is the inventory for your entire party. So if you don't want something, you can drop it in here. I've migrated all of your stuff from the old system that we were using into this new system because this is the inbuilt system. Does this make sense? Mm-hmm. So you can see, if you look at your inventory, You know, you can see the money that the team has together. Money is heavy, so you know I'm not enforcing encumbrance right now. Here, right? At some point, if you think about it, it's kind of cheating to put stuff here, right? In the real world, this would be like you carrying a wagon around. I guess is sort of how you can liken this. But anyway, that's the party sheet. It's pretty handy, especially if you're trying to track, if you're a healer and you're wanting to watch people in a big version of their health. It's pretty handy. Okay, now back to the character sheet. The next tab down from inventory is your features. Right, this is where all your character features. There should be more here now, because when I upgraded your characters and fixed things, it put all of these things back in here. So if you were missing things, they're probably, hopefully, there now. If you're still missing things, make a note of it, and I'll make sure that I add them. Right? You can also see things like for like Curtis, you're a paladin, and you can see at the up at the top you have, you know, you're a paladin and then Oath of Vengeance, right? You can see your current level. When it's time for you to up level, that's where we're going to do it. We're no longer going to be using D&D Beyond and exporting back and forth. It's just too complicated. We're going to have to actually learn the character system a little bit better here, and it's a lot easier now. Nick,
by the way, I don't know if anyone else is having this, but I've been trying to get the description to show up, but on the hover it just continually spins, like nothing is coming up on. I see the little box, and it's trying to load something, but nothing seems to.
Oh, interesting. So for anything?
Yeah, for anything. I've tried a bunch of different things at this point.
Same with me.
I'll look to see if that's a setting or something somewhere that you guys are allowed to see the item details. I haven't changed anything, so you should be able to see it. Can you see him when you look in the left-hand bar?
I can't.
The little green finger pointy thing? Okay, that's good to know.
Yep.
So for today, just use those if you need to look at something, and then we'll figure something else out. I also am trying to figure, is there a hotkey, like in the inventory? I want to be able to click on, say, torch, and have the item window pop up so I could look at the torch. I don't want to have to read it in a little pop-up window, and I have yet to find a way to do that. Because it just tries to, when I click it, it just uses the torch. When I right-click it, it uses the torch. When I shift-click it, it uses the torch.
I figured it out. Is your window character sheet popped out of the main window?
Yep.
That's why.
Oh, okay.
When it's within the window, it does work, but when it's out.
Yeah, so I'll tell them that's a bug, because they just adapted it to even work at all. This is a hotfix that came in earlier this week. So, good times. Next tab down is spells, which should be a lot easier to understand and to read, right? The prepared spells should be clear, the unprepared spells should be dimmed out. Next tab down is effects. You guys don't really do too much. These are things that are active against you. I control most of this, right? But this is where I can say if you're paralyzed or, whatever. And then the final tab is your biography and stuff, this was sort of underplayed before. But they've, I think, given it the purpose it needs, because this is really where this is like the role-playing tab. This is who your character is and how you behave and blah blah blah. And where I've created a section for each of you saying character, narrative, and notes, that clicks out to your personal journal, the same one that you would see if you hit J, right, in the pop-up quest journal thing. But this is just a courtesy link that will open up and show you your character sheet, or all your character information, your character notes. So at the top of everyone's personal journal is their character backstory stuff, right? So like I'm looking at Dinjarin, it's called Dinjarin's narrative, right? So if you edit your narrative, that needs to be edited here, and just tell me when you've done it so I can make sure I incorporate it into the game. If your backstory sucks, make it not suck, and send me changes. And if you don't want to edit it here, I can edit it for you. Just tell me what you want me to do. The one part of this character sheet that I do want to draw attention to is it says action sequence and rules. I would like it over time, all of you to fill this section out. This is for me or for someone else. This is basically when I'm playing your character. Oh, I get a bonus action. Oh, if I hit, I get a bonus action. I normally attack with my great axe. Like, just what sequence do you typically? I do this first and this second. Here's the rules I use to run my character. Just whatever that blueprint is super important. For instance, on my other group, there's a fighter, and on his turn, he gets 6 different attacks. Right? Up to 6 attacks. But one of the attacks only happens if it's the first round. Another one of the attacks only happens if he hits. Another one, the first time he uses that attack, it has to be to call forth his weapon. And then on the next round, he can use that weapon or move that weapon around. So, like, I just need to know what those rules for your character are, because you guys are starting to get up there in the levels, and to be frank, it's too hard for me. So, like, I don't know if, like, Toph gets 2 attacks. So I'll need from Toph's perspective, like, oh, well, the first thing I would do is if it's a tough battle, I'm going to rage. And then I'm also going to do reckless attack. And that means I'm going to get X, Y, and Z. And on a normal turn, I get 1 hit. If I have these enabled, I get 3 hits or whatever. So if you guys wouldn't mind doing that for me. Now, you may say, well, how do I do that? Well, that's easy. Take your, when you're on that tab, go into edit mode. And you will see that you can then edit that stuff.
Lovely.
Yes. So there you go. And anything that's missing, like if you don't have a weight, or you don't have a faith, and you've discovered God, or if you don't have a God, make a note in that faith box that you don't have a God. I'm atheist. Right? Or agnostic. You haven't figured it out yet. Stefanos, you've been very quiet. Is this all making sense? Because then we're gonna play.
It makes sense. I just don't know where the tabs are.
You just don't know where what?
Were you speaking to the tabs on the character sheet?
Oh, they're down the right side. They're the black little things that are on the side of the character sheet.
Oh, there they are.
Yeah, it's super obvious, right? So.
Yeah.
I mean, once someone points them out to you, they're really handy, and you can see how they're going to be powerful. But like, otherwise, yeah, it's tough. It was tough to discover them. If you're looking at your inventory view, Stefanos, also like the little shield, that's how you equip and unequip stuff, right? And for your spells, which is the little book icon on the side, the little tab with a book, there's that little gear looking thing or a little sun. That's how you prepare or not prepare a spell. Right. So for instance, you have all your cantrips. I'm going to click. I'll let you. I'll do the first one, but you see, I clicked prepare for you. Right. You can prepare all of those because they're always prepared. So you can just go ahead and pre-select prepared for all your cantrips. You have full access to all your cantrips always. But for your spells, you can only prepare a certain number. Right. And what that number is you guys have to tell me because I don't know. All right. And then you can also, from your spells, you can, like, I didn't drag anything over to your favorites bar like that. You can drag, like, I always use, I don't know, guidance. By the way, you don't use guidance very often. Guidance is pretty handy because it gives people a buff on their rolls.
Yeah, use that yet.
Yeah. I think you'll get there. You have blindness and deafness, which is pretty handy. It's a 2nd level spell that you haven't used yet. But that can be pretty handy, right? If you want to, like, take one of the monsters that's doing some serious damage. If you can blind them, that's pretty awesome, right? Or if someone's trying to sneak up on them and you can try to make them deaf, right? So, like, but you can drag all that stuff to your favorites. Good stuff. I'm trying to think of like, a lot of the other things I don't need to go in deeply. Oh, your macro bars, I cleaned up all your macro bars for you and added and organized them. You can reorganize them all you want, but I wanted to make sure the bottom row that's showing is the ones we use most of the time, like changing your outfit, criticals, fumbles, whatever else, chats. Yeah, and there's a couple of new ones. Oh, there's one other piece of functionality that I'll talk about that I think you'll be excited about. On your character sheet, when you open up your character sheet, in the upper right-hand corner, there's all those little tools, right? One of them is a hammer. And if you click it, I have enabled crafting, so let the crafting begin. Now, I don't know.
Nice.
So I don't know if you guys can, like, I can't remember if I gave you access to see all the books, but like the Brewing Alchemist, right? If you click that, if you expand it, it should expand for you guys, right? You see the stuff under it?
Yeah.
If you click one of them, those are the recipes. And you see how they're probably surrounded in red? like the little ingredients are surrounded in red. The ingredients are probably have like a little red dotted box around them. That means you don't have that ingredient. If you did have that ingredient, it would let you know. And you could drag that ingredient from your inventory onto this box, and lo and behold, you'd be able to craft the result. So if you had fire peas and you had oil flask, and if you left click those things, I think it opens up the item for them. Then the result you would end up with is alchemist fire. That's how you make alchemist fire. So if you found these ingredients while you're out during a camp session or whatever else, you could craft some stuff, right? You could say, I'm going to go ahead and do some crafting. Now you might be saying to yourself, well, how in the world will I know where to find those? Well, we're going to do a little bit of a cheat. In your macro bar, there's going to be a little, what looks like a shopping basket, little wicker shopping basket. And right now, because we're just learning this, we're going to view harvest locations. And as you can see, it's broken down by different terrains. So you're in the desert, so if you click desert, you'll see the 3 things that you can find here. Oh, look, fire peas. You can find flame lilies. You can find Marusa twigs. Fun, right? So you're here right now. So I thought, for fun, why don't we try real quick? And I'll do it with each of you, because I've not tried this before. I can't play by myself this way. I'm going to remove the party inventory token from the screen. Let's start with Tyros. And now I know why my buttons aren't working, is because the wrong window was selected. There we go.
And I really need mushrooms to make poison.
Yeah, and so we'll do a little bit of, you can buy some of these things from merchants. You can harvest them. So I'm going to go Tyros first. So Tyros, I have you selected, and you're just officially tell me that you'd like to search the area for things.
I would, except my gather and harvest window shows nothing, so it doesn't show a desert or anything at all.
Oh, interesting. Hold on. So you're in there, so I'm going to say configure ownership because you're here now. And I'm going to say for this observer. Now look at desert.
There we go.
Yeah, so because you haven't been to those other areas. Well, actually, you've been. I'll do that one. I'll also enable forests for you.
How ironic! I was just looking to see if I could find fire peas.
There you go. And let's see. You've also been in the mountains. Configure ownership. Observer. And then let's see. What else have you been in? You've been in urban areas. Oh, weird.
So awesome.
You know what's interesting is I thought this one would be, I'm like, how often will this be used? Volcanoes. You legit were in a volcano. So I will give you access to volcanoes. So by the way, I knew this session would be a little weird this way. Oh, you've also been underground. You spend a lot of time, thanks to Dinjarin, in a cave. Where have you not been? I don't think you've really been in grasslands. You have been in hills. That was at the beginning of the game. Jesus. I'm almost giving you guys everything. And then I think that's where we're going to stop. Yeah, that's about it. So now you can see, because you have experience in those areas, and one would imagine over the last 4 years you've learned how to gather and harvest some things. I'm unlocking this for you. All right? So now you're in the desert. So I'm selecting Tyros, and I'm going to hit that you want to gather here?
Yes, I would like to gather. I would like to search for some fire peas.
Well, you'll search for whatever you find. That's how harvesting and gathering works, right?
Oh, okay.
So you're just looking around for things. So I'm going to hit... I've not tried this, so let's see if it works. If I hit gather... All right. So we're gonna do another retro cheat because we haven't done this. Would you think you would have bought an herbalism kit in the past? Basically, if you don't have an herbalism kit, you cannot look for herbs and stuff.
I don't have one right now.
No, that's what I'm trying to decide. Let me open this up. I think we're gonna do a little retro on this one because items. Because these typically come like you get some kit for your character.
Yeah.
And I think as a rogue, do you think you would be more probably of this for poisons and whatever else as opposed to alchemy?
I have a poisoner's kit, a forgery kit, and a disguise kit.
All right. You now should also have an herbalism kit.
I now have an herbalism kit.
All right. And so I have you selected, and I'm going to say gather. And so it should pop up a thing on your screen.
I do have a gather button just in the wicker basket pop-up.
Oh, you do? Okay,
yes.
So hit gather.
Okay,
and what's it say?
Normal roll. It pops up a roll window for me, so advantage, normal, or disadvantage.
Okay. And did it pop up in another little window that's cycling through things?
No, I just did a roll, though, for... in my window, it shows up that I rolled a 10 for my herbalism kit. But it didn't cycle anything through gathering.
So it looks like... So did it say you didn't find anything?
It just gave me a 10.
All right, so let me see what happens.
Chat window.
Let me see what happens when I click you and hit gather. And I hit normal. Now, did it pop up something for you?
Exact same window, which it just says an 18 now. So the tool was herbalism kit, and it just showed what the roll was.
Oh crap! I'm wondering how this works then. Okay, hold on. I think I know what's wrong. Let me hit cancel on this. This is why I needed you guys. So if I change the ownership of this, your ownership to limited, I think that will allow you to engage with it. Okay, so now try to hit. Can you still see the stuff inside of it?
Desert is gone now for me.
Okay, hold on. Let me try something else. I don't want to make you an owner, but I'm going to just temporarily see if it fixes the issue.
Oh, but it did say that I gathered a flame lily.
Yes. So, but you didn't get to do it yourself.
No.
And that takes all of the fun out of it. So, let me hit save changes. Okay. Now.
Okay, desert is back.
It's back. Now hit gather. And does it let you hit reset? Because I don't want you to be able to hit reset.
No, I don't see a reset at all.
Okay. So hit gather.
All right, let me. Okay, so the roll window comes up. I will roll normal. Oh, and now it's cycling through.
Aha! It's a mini game. Now, whatever you click, you get.
Okay, I'm trying to. Oh, it keeps going faster. Stop going so fast.
Get a flame lily.
I got a flame lily.
And that's it for you. So I don't let you do it over and over again. Okay, so you needed to be owners. Okay, so I need to change it so that you're owners. And then that allows that mini game to pop up. So, like, Curtis, would you like to gather? Stefanos, let's do Stefanos. Stefanos, would you like to go ahead and gather?
Yeah.
Okay, so do you have the gather and harvest window open?
No, I forgot where to access that.
Okay, so on your macro bar, there's a little wicker basket. Click that.
Should be on level 2.
And if you guys click the little number, does it open up a bigger window of your macros if you need it to?
Never tried.
So
Yes, it does.
I have a big monitor, so I'm in that mode all the time. So what were you saying, Stefanos?
Excuse me. So I'm in the...
I'm not sure about Tyros, but I can't hear a word that you're saying.
Yeah, it's cutting in and out.
I opened up the wicker basket to desert.
Okay, perfect. And then just click the gather button and then do what it says.
Damn it. He said I got nothing.
Ah, I'll let you try one more time.
Okay. I think I got the Marusa twigs, but I'm not sure where that went.
It went into your inventory.
No.
So you got Marusa twigs. Now, if you click, so in that gather window, so if you click the Marusa twigs, all right, and that brings up, if you left click it, it's going to bring up the item window, right? You might say, well, what the heck can I make with that? So in that little item window pop up, you'll see a little hammer. If you click that hammer, oops, not that one. If you click the right hammer, the very far right hammer next to the, it's a solid white hammer. If you click that, it will bring up the crafting potion or the crafting list of items that are pre-filtered by that item. So you can see that with that you can make Marusa Balm, you can make a potion of plant speak, you can make quenching filter, you can make liquid luck. That sounds pretty fun. And you also can make life's liquor, right? Which looks like it gives temporary hit points. And then you can also see the other things that are missing, and you're like, oh, it needs that mushroom, right? Along with whatever twigs that you have. And you might then say, well, where can I get that? And where can I get that mushroom? Well, then you go back to the gather and harvest window, and the places that you have access to, you can click through to see, oh, you know what? I can get that in the forests. So the next time I'm in the forest, I want to make sure I look, because I want to get some of those red mushrooms. So you see where I'm going with this, right? In that gathering book that I told you about, which is or the herbalism book, if you go into to fast track to it, if you go into the items in the upper right hand corner of your window, it's a little suitcase. If you click that, you should see a button that says Recipe Manager. Do you guys see that?
Yep.
If you click that, that brings up all the recipes. And you probably have access to all of them right now. So there's two neat things here. If you scroll down in the left book, you'll see there's Draconic Apothecary. Well, those, you haven't found this book yet, but when you find this book, these are recipes from the Black Cult of the Dragon. Right, so this is recipes that they make. Might be handy. And then in the upper right-hand corner of that same Mastercrafted window is a little icon of a cauldron. If you click that one, you can just randomly drop ingredients in here. And don't do it yet, but if you and then mix them, right? But here's the deal: the ingredients get consumed. So if you fail, it's like you were trying to make, you're trying to make a cake and you put a bunch of ingredients together and it's horrible and it's not a thing. You lose that ingredient. So cauldron's interesting, but it's high risk, right? Because let's say you have three herbs or you have 3 plants that you found, and 2 of them are right and the third one's wrong. It's going to tell you how close you got, but you're going to lose access to those things. You're going to have to harvest until you find those again. Make sense?
So it's not like a testing. It's not like a sandbox. I can't test things in there.
It's a sandbox, but it's not free.
Okay.
Right? I might set it up so that you don't consume the ingredients. I don't know. I'll play with that idea later. But my first step is to make sure you have plenty of recipes and plenty of ingredients. So you're going to see there's going to be ingredients are going to grow. I'm going to add new things to the areas. You're going to be able to build new cool stuff. There's already some stuff for the Arcanic Wayfinder that you can do, right? Pretty neat stuff. Curtis, are you back?
This is so cool.
Did he say he was leaving? I assume that he said he was leaving at some point. We just missed it.
He went to pick up his kids.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay, so I think that's there's also some new macros for you guys that you'd probably see. One is roll for harvest. I'll let you each click it one time, and it'll say select the area. And this is a free pull, so you can select from any of those areas.
Oh.
And so like maybe you want to try the forest, maybe you want to try for those mushrooms, who knows? And then hit gather and harvest. But you don't click this one unless I tell you to. See if anyone finds anything.
What do I want to make?
I know, right? I feel like I'm gonna be like, it's your turn, Tyros, and you'll be like, what? I'm sorry, I was crafting.
I'm still reading you. Oh, the Ghost Pepper Poisoner has some nice spells.
Yep. So, Stephanos, did you want to try clicking? The icon is Roll for Harvest. It looks like a little bag with plants all over it.
I think I'm gonna try my luck in the forest.
Awesome. You found some angel trumpet. Only do one. So, let me add those. I'll give Tyros two too, since I gave you two. So Stephanos, let me add those to your inventory. So you now have Angel's Trumpet, and you have Singing Nettle. All right, so your ingredients are panning out. So you might be saying, well, that's cool, but how do I keep track of these things? You know, they're going to just show up in my inventory randomly, right? Well, guess what? You guys probably all have pouches. You have a backpack. You may want to purchase a pouch at your next place, so you can start putting all your herbs and your stuff. So your crafting stuff, you may want a crafting pouch or a crafting bag. That'll make it easy to organize, and then it'll show up at the top. So right now, Stephanos, you have an alms box, right? You have a backpack, and to put things in, you simply click the backpack and then drag things from your inventory into the backpack. Easy peasy. All right. I feel like I'm assuming that you found this a good use of time, even though it wasn't super gamey, right? Tyros, you can roll from the crafting, the roll for harvest macro twice.
I've already did that initial one when we tested, so I will try.
No, it's so you got to do the real way, and then you're going to use the other macro way twice. So it's little, yeah. So like roll for harvest, you can do it. It'll pop up and it'll say, "Where do you want to harvest?" I'm letting you harvest from anywhere, and you can do two of them, and that means that each of you will have potentially 3 different ingredients.
Okay. Gather and harvest.
You found some sour grass.
Ooh.
Which is a real thing that I used to eat when I was a kid.
All right. And sorry, are you saying I can do another one?
Yep.
And let's go. Let me get specific and do desert. Or actually, mountain. Silverthorn.
Sounds fun.
There's Silverthorn. Very cool. Now, what can I make with Silverthorn?
Exactly. This is where I'll lose you guys. I'm like, they're being attacked. I'm reading about herbalism. So we're gonna parallel. So like, you guys can mess around with this stuff all you want, but we're gonna play the game now. So yeah, you guys, it's about 7. After messing around with herbalism, it's about 7:30. It's getting dark outside. You're in the desert. The creepy crawlies are coming. Did you guys want to move forward and travel, or did you want to do another long rest and wait till morning?
I think 7 o'clock at night. We want to travel best in the evening. I don't know if you watched the video, Stephanos, but the desert gets very, very hot during the day, so we felt best to travel at night and then camp during the day when most other creatures are camping as well, or sleeping.
Okay.
So Curtis had suggested about packing up the camp and heading out. Dinjarin suggested, and I'm all up for packing up camp and let's roll out. I think we've all had a good rest.
All right. So I'm gonna pack up the camp for you. So you guys it takes about, I don't know, about 40 minutes to break down a full camp, right? Put out the fire, and you do. And it gets a little bit dark, but Stefano's back where she was, and let me increment it an hour. It's now about 8:30 at night. And so I will pull, who do you want in which cart?
Oh, good question. We split this up. Who's the best one to put Stefanos with? Probably Toph and Tempe? Or actually, Toph and Tempe should be in separate carts.
Alright, so I'll put Toph in the northern cart. You want Toph driving? Or in the back?
I can drive.
Alright, so I put her in the back.
In the back.
She'll be in the very far back, so she'll look for something coming up the rear. Tempe will be... Do you want him to drive or to be in the cart?
I think in the cart in the back as well.
Alright, so he's there. Dinjarin, do you want him in the north or the south cart?
I don't think it matters. Put him in the south cart.
Alright, I won't tell him you said that. Glory, I'll put in the middle of the north cart, and then David, you and I'll move free movement on.
I'll drive the north cart.
You guys go ahead and then now get in whatever cart each of you wants, and then we'll start the journey. And Stefanos, you can move your character into the south cart, right about here. And you're driving. All right, so you guys take off.
The only thing I can't see on my character sheet is where my encumbrance is. I still can't seem to find that.
Okay, and when you open up your character sheet,
yep, I'm in
look
inventory.
at where it says your strength, your size, and your multiplier up there by the storage. That bar above, is encumbrance. So you're 151.4.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, got it. Thank you.
Tempe
At
is.
some point, I'll need to set up.
Go ahead.
Oh, I've got a quiver of Baphomet's holding, or some kind of quiver of Aloma, which allows me to put a whole bunch of stuff in there, and it carries no weight. So at some point, I'll need to set that up as an actual carrying item.
Container. Yeah, I'll have to edit that as a container.
Yeah.
So you guys are making your way through the Badlands. If you hit J and pull up your map, you can see where you are on the Black Road. Click Greater Farron, you see where you're on the Black Road. And I'm gonna move it over to the right a little bit. Right. Was everyone able to do that?
Yep.
Right, give me two shakes. I gotta respond to this message. Okay. And what were you saying? Of greater Farron. And you'll see you're just next to the Empire of the Shadows, roughly, right? The time is now 9:30, 10:30. It's about 11:30 at night. Then you roll something to see if you encounter anything. You're all clear. So I'll take you the next 4 hours. Are you guys doing anything while we do this?
Just keeping an eye out. I got my hands on my quiver, just making sure I can feel anything if any danger comes by.
No danger so far. You see that the foliage has went from barren desert. You're seeing, as you can see up on the screen or on your screen, there's a little bit more. There's like some cacti, some other herbalism things. Did you guys want to stop and do a long rest, or do you want to push through? You're feeling like you're making pretty good progress. I'm going to hit J and update your location again.
We just had a long rest though, right? During the day? Is that accurate?
You had a battle though.
Oh.
So if you look at your character sheets, let me look at the character sheets. Oh, actually, you know what? No one got hurt. Matter of fact, Glory has like 40 extra hit points because of a glitch in the Matrix.
Yeah.
So did you guys want to push through until dawn?
I'm back.
Yeah. Anybody Anyone who's in the middle of the caravan, if they want a long rest.
Well, why don't we pull over for just 2 seconds?
I want to look, see if there's any signs of that oasis that we heard about.
Awesome.
Like, if anything that might indicate, hey, if you go this way, you might hit that oasis.
So I think you guys you're gonna stop for a second, and we'll do a quick in-game bio break. I'm gonna step away for 2 seconds. Can you tell Curtis what's happened so far, and then explain to him the crafting stuff? I'm gonna let him do his roles in this little desert area before you guys move any farther, just so it's fair.
Is it fine for him to? Is it fine for him to do rolls for crafting? Okay.
Yeah, he gets the one in the location, and then the 2 with the macro. So it's the wicker basket, and then 2 with the plant bag. So explain that to him.
All right. So Curtis, in your macro bar there is a little wicker basket. It might be on the 2nd level of your macro bar. Click on that bad boy.
View harvest locations, that one?
That's the one, yep.
Okay.
You should, on the left-hand side, be populated with a bunch of different areas, like desert, forest, hill, mountains. These are all areas that Thomas has populated for us because we've been there. So we know how to gather in those areas.
Oh, okay.
Right. So the one you can click is desert, because you're in the desert. And then you should have a button that says gather. So go ahead and click it, and let's see if you find anything.
Nope.
He got the same thing where it was just a number, like just his roll showed up.
Yeah, I think it failed. So try again.
Yeah, I saw something that said that you did not gather anything.
Yeah, so try one more time. I'm gonna let you do it until you gather something.
You did not gather anything.
I think you need at least 10.
Try again.
Oh.
You critted. Now it should have popped up a little mini game, and you found some fire peas.
Those are what I want.
So you may have to trade for them. So,
pop
Curtis,
them in my mouth and eat them. Just
do you
kidding.
really?
I'm kidding. No. I'm
okay. Okay. No joking. Okay. So you can only do this when you declare you want to do this, and I tell you it's okay. Just so you know. All right. So that's gathering. You also get to gather a different way. So look down at the bottom.
Really quick, there's 2 that. So I see like the list on the left. They all have, I guess, feathers next to them.
Yeah.
And then there's 2 at the bottom that don't. What do those mean?
That means that you don't have those areas yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh goodness, hang tight. Stephanus is going potty. So in that same macro bar, there's another version of this. That's the little bag with leaves. Okay. And when you click it, this is you only do this. Definitely only do this when I tell you, because this is a sure thing. You're always going to get something in this version. Right, and I'm going to let you do 2 rolls, and the benefit, because this is your first time, and remind me to do this with everyone else, by the way, you can choose either all plants and just randomly get what you get, or you can choose a specific area, no matter what the area is, and try to get something from there. You get to do this twice, so you're going to get two things. Ooh, you got Everfrost Berry. And some black sap. All right. Stop. No, you don't get the fire peas. Delete.
I didn't do that.
Oh.
That wasn't me.
Really? Oh, when you open that macro window and close it, it rolls. That's stupid. I'll have to make sure it doesn't do that. All right, Dinjarin, I'm going to open you up and I'm going to drag this into your inventory. Because unlike the other tool, this one's manual. Okay, it's basically an override for when, you guys are looking real hard. All right, so now you have those items. All right, now in that chat window, you may be asking yourself, well, what can I make with Everfrost berries? So click that in the chat window, and it should pop open the Everfrost Berry window, right?
No, it says you do not have sufficient permissions to view this sheet.
Really?
Also, I didn't get the fire peas from when I clicked on the other the other bag that David told me about. I don't see those in my inventory.
Let me look.
Yeah, I don't have any of mine that I've gathered in my inventory either.
It's supposed to add them for you. Okay, let me scroll up and add the fire
Oh,
peas.
there. I see it. It's under loot. I saw it. It was under loot. So there was one.
Oh, I gotta remove it.
Yeah. So David, you might look under loot all the way at the bottom.
Yeah, that's where I'm looking. I don't see anything there.
Okay.
It should be either in loot or consumables. So let me look at David's. I'm sorry, Tyros's. So I see nothing there. Consumables. I see. A lot of stuff. You need to organize.
Yeah.
See tools. I see Flame Lily.
I've had that for a while. That wasn't one of the ones I got.
Oh, so this is from. So you got this at a different part of the game?
Yeah, I think I stole it off of a kill.
Weird, because I drugged these to your sheets earlier, right?
Yeah, I should have Singing Nettle, Sour Grass, and Silverthorn.
Okay, let me scroll up and see, because you can also. I'm gonna just do a quick search. I don't know if you guys know this, but there's a search inventory. So if I hit sour, nothing there. So I'm gonna pull sour grass in, and you should have Silverthorn. So I'll add that. And then what's the other thing you got? You got
Singing
Flame.
Nettle.
I thought you got Flame Lily. It says up the top.
I've already had Flame Lily. That was from before.
Well, it also says you have. I'm seeing Flame Lily twice.
Shouldn't be.
You scroll up to 26 minutes ago. It says Flame Lily, Flame Lily. And then what I'm looking for is the Singing Nettle. You said you also got Singing Nettle?
Singing Nettle, yeah. Oh, why do I have Flame Lily? So weird.
Yeah, you've got 3 of those now.
Yeah. I know I picked one from a previous kill and just looped through, so I should only have one. I don't know why there's 3.
All right, and I just added the Singing Nettle to your thing. Let me look, make sure it's there.
Yep.
Yep, there it is. All right, so you have yours. I'm going to verify that Stefanos has hers, and then we're going to get back on the road. So basically, this is how you gather and harvest. Curtis, if you click the inventory, I'm sorry, the items tab in the upper right-hand corner, you'll see a button that says, what's it say? Recipe Manager. Those are the recipes to build stuff. In an ideal state, you discover these on your own and blah, 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 but like, we've been playing for four years. In the upper right-hand corner.
Of what?
Of your client. Of Foundry. Up in where the chat, combat, scenes, actors.
Oh, items tabs, okay.
Items, yeah. And then if you click items, you'll see Recipe Manager. And those are all of the books, and if you click on the title of a book, it's going to expand out and show you recipes. And then in that recipe book, you can see what you can make. Like, you can make fake blood if you have one ingredient. Bloodroot. If you have bloodroot, you can make fake blood. Fun. So many spiders, right, Stefanos? Stefanos, I'm going to verify that you have access to all of your stuff. All of your herbs and stuff, so let me scroll back up.
I just don't know how to do it.
You broke up there.
I tried to drive them.
Oh no, I don't think it'll let you do that. I have. I can do it though. Angela's trumpet. You got that one. You have singing nettle. Awesome. And then morose twigs. Or marusa. Yep, you got that. So you're good to go. All right.
I do a long rest. All my spell slots look like they were taken.
They were. So I think, leader, you guys are parked. It's about 4 in the morning. Probably a good time for a long rest. Did you want to set up camp? So you can either set up your full camp, which takes about 40 minutes. You can set up a quick camp, which doesn't have the tent, but it's just basically sleeping bags and then some lights. And then you have a simple camp, which is typically for indoors, but it's basically just your bedrolls and a single lantern.
Could everyone else sleep in the carts while Tyros and myself stay awake and guide the carts?
Yeah, there's not enough room in the carts for everyone to sleep. You need to put your camp up, or you need to put some camp, or they're sleeping on the ground. I would basically, I would recommend, I would just recommend bedrolls, like the simple camp.
Could Stefanos just sleep then?
Yeah. So let's put down the simple bedrolls for her.
Oh, but she couldn't sleep in the cart?
Oh, I guess she could, but then no one else gets the benefit. Okay, so let me put this away.
Because I don't really need a long rest. I can't speak to everyone else, but I don't need one.
So I'm good as well.
I'll just show you. Basically, you have 3 camps. You have this one, which is really simple, right? This is pretty good for like dungeons and whatever else you're in. Just a lantern. So you have this camp. You have a little bit more robust, where a couple of lamps, right? You get more gear out. Still not a campfire or anything. And then you have your full campsite, which is this one. So it does everything. Thank you. So that's for that's for glamping, right? And then to your point, you can also set. Yeah, go ahead.
Sleep in the cart to get my spell slots back. I'll be fine.
All right.
If I can
so then the only one who's doing a long rest is Stefanos, right?
Yeah, and we'll continue traveling.
All right. So I didn't check.
Well,
anyone else.
We did want to find out anything about this Oasis that we're looking for.
Yeah, can we see anything that might indicate a direction towards the Oasis?
Yes. You looked at the map, and your assumption... Hold on, let me roll perception real quick. I'm looking at Glory to make sure that she has spell slots. Does she not have spell slots?
I'm trying to remember if a warlock uses spell slots or a different thing.
She doesn't have any spell slots, so I don't think she does. She has spell slots for pack magic, but she's never filled out her spells. So I don't know. She might want to do that. She has 3rd level pack magic.
I think a warlock uses sorcery points or something different. If I remember. But she'll have to look into that.
All right. Yeah, she'll have to look into that. We're not going to solve that today. All right. So Stefanos, I'm gonna long rest you real quick. So
okay.
I'm gonna click the button on the character sheet and begin long rest. And I'm just gonna do it for you. Finish long rest. And it should say in the chat that Stefanos has done a long rest. And can you take a look to make sure your spell slots are back?
Sure.
Yeah, they're all back. I'm looking at them right now. So you've got all your spell slots back.
Okay. Great.
All right. So while you were sleeping, Dinjarin and Tyros were talking, and they were looking at their map. And so let's bring open the journal and look at the map. And the red X indicates where you are on your way. And so if you sort of scroll to the right, you'll see that you're just on top of the Empire of the Shadows nomenclature, right? Wait, where'd it go? There we go. on your way to the mines of Tethymar, which you can see also on the map, as indicated by that Wayfinder part. You see the sort of the Shadow Sea, and you sort of assume that if you're going to run into an oasis, it's going to be within the next hour or two. And that's sort of passively, right? Because just sort of looking at the lay of the land, there's water there. There's some sort of water source that indicates that there's at least some moisture in the area. Would you like to continue? Go ahead.
I tell Tyros, like, hey, why don't we continue, and then we'll keep an eye out for the water source, and maybe take a pit stop there.
Yep.
We can refill water and everything we may need.
How far down is that Shadow Sea from the path that we're on right now? That might be a good place to set up camp.
Let me measure. Let's see if the measurement tool works here. It's about, according to this, about a mile. A little over a mile.
Yeah, what do you think, in charge? You want to pop down and have a look at the water area?
I think so. I think it would be advantageous. It would be smart for us because we could let the horses drink maybe some water. Yeah. They're probably getting exhausted. They really haven't had much. We could hunker down there because we know that it's going to be too hot to travel during the day anyway. So that might be a good spot to break and during the day.
So
let's see. Oh yeah, and forage as well.
Forage away.
We hear Stephanos snore. Forge.
Okay.
Let's make things.
I'm looking something up real quick because I need to see about how long this will take. This is a nice count. This is a good use of bubo. So, yeah. So basically, it would take you about 30 minutes to get there because as you leave this main trail, which is pretty hardened sand, you're going to get into like sort of full-on desert sand, right? Between here and there, it's not like it's super flat. So it's going to be a little tougher going on the horses. So you can do about 2 miles an hour on desert sand, or roughly about 30 minutes each way. Sound good?
Yep.
Sounds good.
Sounds great.
Really quick, GM.
Uh-huh.
On the new character sheet, where do you see your proficiency bonus? I used to know where that was, but I don't. Oh, there it is. Never mind.
On the
Found
gears?
It.
Okay.
Found it.
You beat me. All right, so as you guys make your way towards, this is gonna be a little theater of the mind. As you make your way towards the oasis due south, hoping that your aim is true, you see, all of the foliage near the road sort of goes away for a little bit. Then about 15 minutes or so, into the journey, it starts to come back. Boom, there it is. And you're seafront. I don't have a scene for this. So we're going to do theater of the mind. This is still arguably desert. It's been a long rest, so I will allow you to gather if you would like to do so, and from the desert area.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else that you're wanting to do down there? The horses are drinking. They're a little reluctant. The water's a little salient, a little salty.
Like salty.
Yes, it is a sea.
Yeah, salient's not the right word. It's a little saline. Thank you. A little saline taste to it.
Interesting. I wonder why the water would be salty here.
Well, I think we're going to find out by doing this. And
could be salt flats underneath.
We're going to do a nature check. Start epic roll. Have you guys seen the new epic roll?
Yeah, I think
I'd like you all to roll nature. So yes, it should pop up on your screen. Just roll it. Click the dice on the screen under your face.
I'm not getting anything yet.
Did you guys get it to pop up?
Yep. And it's Afano's face there.
Yeah, I think she was having this issue last time where she wasn't seeing any of these things.
Oh, weird. I'll roll it for you this time.
Oh.
Oh, sorry. You got a
Son of
3.
bitch. Wow.
Dinjarin, your remedial education let you know that, like, yeah, sort of, it kind of makes sense, right? You're in sort of a deserty environment. There's some mountains off, to the south, and sort of this thing is sort of layered in. In this real world, it's kind of like Salt Lake City, right? It's sort of what you're going through. Where this was probably a water basin at one point, possibly with ocean water of some sort that has since evaporated into sort of the desolate badlands that it is today. So that residual salt in the ground, when there's introduced moisture, there's a light saltiness to it. If any of you were to swim, you would find it's much easier to float. But it's not so salty that it's not drinkable. It's not necessarily it's not brine, right? It's just a little like a moment. You wouldn't want to fill your canteens up with it.
That's what I was going to ask. But if we filled it up, would we dehydrate? But,
yeah, you'd end up with the Hershey squirts.
Yeah.
Or as my son likes to say, the potty farts.
I want to, while we're here, I'm going to use my feature of... I'm going to use my harness of divine power so I can regain a spell slot.
All right, go for it.
All right. Let me just make sure that happened correctly. Hey, it did it. That's cool.
Awesome. So for those who don't remember, this was the narrative for those who didn't play last week. I thought I should at least do this. This is another more functionality that I added that maybe some of you have already seen, where I can say, okay, here's the narrative, simplified, prettified a little bit, right? So this is you guys going through the Badlands, and then also if I want to show you an image, I can just click this button, and you'll see that it now appears in the chat window, and you can on your own sort of view, you can view this as an image. And if you say, you know what, I really want to keep a copy of this, you can just tell me that, and I say, okay, well, let me create a handout for you. Boom. So now, in your handouts folder is a copy of this narrative. So that's up in the little open book icon in Journals, and you have a folder called Party Handouts, and you'll see Badland Travel, and there it is.
Nice.
So this is my way of saying you don't, like, if you're like want to remember, like if there's like a critical thing and you're like jotting down notes, like you can just say, can I just save this one? And that just creates a handout.
I sure hope your picture of a lone person walking isn't like foretelling anything.
That's Dinjarin. You guys left without him.
That's what I was saying is it's someone with a lot of armor, which would be me. So do I get voted off the island or something?
You could.
That's what's going to happen.
So
I'm going to go to sleep here, and you guys take off.
How long are you going? You've been at the lake about an hour. It took about a half hour to get there. You've been there about an hour. What do you want to do? It's 1:30 in the afternoon.
I say, should we, since we're here, set up a camp here, and then do a rest for everybody, take shifts watching?
Yep.
Until it gets dark again?
Might do a harvest again.
Yeah, do some harvests and stuff.
What camp do you guys want? Do you want full camp, bedrolls, or simple camp with just
I think because of the heat, we wanted coverage, so full camp I think made the most sense.
I was gonna ask, is there, with this oasis, are there like any trees or any coverage, natural coverage?
This is not an oasis. This is just
a water hole.
This is just a watering hole. Yeah, there's marginal plants around you, right? It's a little bit disappointing, probably because of the saline water.
Then I'd say you definitely need a full camp, so that we're covered from the sun.
I could take the first watch because I already did a long rest.
There you go. So you guys are now set up in camp. I'm not going to get you guys out of the your gear unless you guys want to. Free movement's on. If you want to pop onto one of the things or into the tent, go for it. But you guys have pulled out some of your provisions. You've set up your full camp. You know, you see that there's some bottles of wine. You've got the campfire going. You know, spiders are still scurrying around. Fun times. Looks like somebody in sort of the northeast part set up some sort of game. Maybe they're playing some solitaire. People are reading books. Like you're sort of chill. When you get too warm, you pop into the tent, right? The tent provides nice break from the sun, but it gives you no breeze. Kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. And I now have to roll. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, before I take a long rest, can I do that, like, search for things around here, like harvest? Like, if there's any cool things?
100%. So anyone who wants to do harvesting, you can harvest from the wicker basket. You cannot harvest from the sure thing roll. And you can only harvest from desert.
Alright, I'm gonna do a harvest as well.
I didn't find anything. There's nothing here, guys. Don't worry about it. Nothing here.
I rolled a 10. Huh.
Was not enough.
What a 10. I thought that's all we needed.
You'll find out eventually. You'll figure it out. Like, just keep a track of your rolls and you'll know what you have to hit. And Stephanos, did you want to roll? She found some baneberry. And that's with a 4.
Huh.
So I guess it's just a whole odd system here. Question for you, Stephanos, can you check your inventory to see if it popped into your inventory?
Oh, I think Stephanos is only allowed to roll from the desert. That was from the all plants table.
Ah, you do not get your baneberry. You need to roll from the wicker basket. So it's when you click the wicker basket, not the plant basket, it'll bring up the gather and harvest, and then choose desert, and then gather. And you got a 14. Let's see if that was good enough to get anything. Oh, I know what the DC is. And it's insane. Hold on. I'm gonna change it real quick.
I figured because there was a lot of salt here. There's not a whole lot growing.
Yeah, hold on. I think do this. Save. Okay, like each of you try one more time. We're just learning this tool, so you're getting some of the benefit. That should be.
Nope, really, guys. There's nothing here.
All right. Tyro should have gotten something. Flame Lily.
I did.
And Stephanos shouldn't have because she rolled a 9. All right, so check your inventory to see if the Flame Lily showed up for you.
Yes, it did.
Okay, so you should have 4 Flame Lilies now.
That's correct. Yep.
Perfect. All right. So yeah, I just need to. You know what? That's what I'm adding it to do. I need to adjust. Like when you're in a forest, it should be more easy to find stuff than when you're in a desert. And I'm curious if I look at forests right now and I hit edit. Okay, yeah, that's what it is. You were right, Dinjarin. It's easier. It's easier to find stuff in different locations. Makes perfect sense. All right.
Hey, Dinjarin.
Yeah.
I was hoping to trade you for your fire peas.
I don't know. I like adding some fire peas to my soup because it just gives it that chef's kiss.
I feel like I'm on playing Settlers of Catan.
You should don't build your railroad there. Don't build your railroad there.
What are you willing to trade it for?
Yeah, I'll give you 3 wheats and 4 woods.
And then someone inevitably makes the wooden joke.
I guess I will hold off on trading because I can't tell right now. It doesn't allow me to look at what I can make with these things, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, because I do have some flame lily I could trade you. The reason I ask is there is this lava potion that I can make, and if I smear it on an enemy's skin, they need to make a Constitution roll, and if they don't, they get a 2d6 damage.
How are you gonna smear lava on someone's skin? I mean,
I'm fast and I hide in the shadows. I could just wipe it as they walk by.
Just slap them in the face.
Yeah.
I look around in the desert looking for a shadow, like in the shadows, huh? I'm just kind of looking around, seeing that there's just a lot of sun, not really many shadows. I'm like, well,
Not right here, you tool.
I don't know. But sure, I'll give it to you, I guess.
All right. You can either do the old-fashioned trade window. You can also, I think, trade via the character sheet, where you click the 3 little dots, and I think it says "Give to."
Mm-hmm. I'll give you some flame lily because I have quite a bit.
Stefano comes out. She starts nibbling on some baguette.
Exactly.
IRL, that makes me kind of hungry. I have not eaten the rest of my sandwich.
So there's no when I do the 3 dots, there's no
I think I need to have a character selected.
no person for me to give it to.
Where is Dinjarin right now?
Well, it says, so when I do it, it says pick a character to send them to. I click that, and then it lets you choose somebody. But I think to...
Yeah, when I do that, it says there's no one to choose from.
Oh, then just use the trade.
Yeah, it says no options.
So just use the trade window. So then Jaren is offering some fire peas, and Tyros is offering nothing.
I have to trade back.
Oh, you could have just put it in there, and it would have swapped it right away.
Yeah.
Oh, could I? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can each load as much stuff up as you want, and then it just swaps. So you go ahead and, I'll let you go ahead and finish your trade, and I'm guessing that your next step is you're going to try to craft something.
Maybe.
So crafting can happen while you have camp set up. It can happen while you have the full campsite. It can happen while you have the medium campsite. I wouldn't let it happen on the minimal campsite because you just don't have enough of your gear set up.
All right, should be a trade.
I hit accept. I think you might have to hit something on your end.
Yeah, he has to hit something on his end.
Oh, I have to. Okay, yep, got it. There we go.
There you go.
All right, I'm going to practice a crafting.
All right, so while he's crafting, what's the rest of you doing?
I'm going to enjoy a long rest at this point.
And I'm curious to sort of, why don't you explain to the team what you're doing? So you guys see Tyros sort of sitting by the campfire. In fact, I'm going to make him, we're going to make this, since you guys are spending so much time here, you're going to move into a spot.
Awesome.
I'm moving you. You're sitting right here by the campfire. Glory is, of course, with all the gear. Tyros is over here, or Toph is over here, sort of keeping guard. There. And
so when I clicked on the little items icon in the top right, there's a button called Recipe Manager. And when I open that up, I can type in one of my items that I have in the left side, and it searches all the different recipes I can do. The one that I'm interested in making is called lava paste. So I clicked on lava paste, and on the right-hand side, the ingredients required for it, if I don't have them, are highlighted in orange. If I do have them, they are in blue.
Ooh,
And,
Dinjarin has a question.
sure.
I'm looking around the desert.
Tyros?
Tyros, I'm looking around the desert and I look at him. What do you mean by clicking on something?
I've found these ingredients, and in my alchemy book here, I can make this thing called a lava paste, which apparently, when I smear it on somebody, is going to cause an immense amount of pain, and hopefully, it may actually kill them.
Nice.
All right, so I am going to try and make this quick craft.
All right, I'm curious because I've never seen this happen before. This is exciting. Look at that. Do you guys see that in the? Does anyone see that in the chat window, or is it just me?
No, I saw it. Yeah.
Okay, now take a look and see if lava paste is now in your inventory.
Let me do a search.
Yep, I see it.
Lava paste in my inventory. That's awesome. Do I need to use an action to equip it, or is that it's a consumable? So
it's a consumable.
That would be my action.
It's a poison, yeah.
Yes. So in combat, that would be my action to use it and have it prepared. Okay, cool. That's awesome.
I can't believe in our first session you guys found enough stuff to craft stuff. I was like, oh, it's going to be weeks before anyone crafts anything.
I have made fire.
I'm jealous. I forgot to wear my Smite 4 shirt. You guys got to remind me to wear my Smite 4 shirt before we play. It is hot here. I got to get this jacket off and this T-shirt. I'm going bear skin. All right, cool. So so there's that. I need to do a quick check to see if there's anything comes upon you. You've got an all clear. Not surprising. There's not a ton. There's like little spiders, but nothing too worrisome. After the crafting, we're going to add a couple of minutes onto you. It's about 2 p.m. What do you guys plan on doing?
I will stand guard. I don't need a rest. So if anyone else wants to long rest or short rest.
Yeah, I would like to do a long rest.
All right.
At this point.
You guys can keep me on guard, but I have to drop. So I've already rested.
Oh, you have to drop from the game?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
We will keep you
Great.
on guard.
Bye.
All right.
It was fun playing.
So we're going to do a long rest for the group. And I wonder if I just hit long rest if it says anything. Does it prompt anyone for a long rest?
Yeah, not for me.
All right. Let me try that again. So I need to add characters. And Jaren, Glory, Stefanos, Tempe, and Toph. There we go. All right. And do I dare? Yes. Starting from now on, your long rest, you need to start consuming food and water. Let's try that for a little while, see how it works. So long rest, new day.
Oh, apparently I need a long rest because I need to consume.
Oh, I like this. This is going to make it more interesting. And I'd like your thoughts, because we haven't tried this before. I wanted to get your thoughts on what you think about this.
I need a unit of food has access.
So you can click has access to external food source, from plants or whatever around. Because you don't have any rations, it looks like.
Oh, I should have rations. I got tons of rations.
So we'll need to figure out what that means.
Because I also noticed my water skin looks empty. I don't know how to tell if it's empty or full.
Okay, well, I'll take a look at that. So right now you can just check has access to external. So basically you guys are going to forage for food, forage for water. So here's why I think that we should start enforcing this over time, because you're going to be someplace where you can get some stuff, for one, at some point. And two, it'll make it more interesting when you're like in a deep, when you're in a crawl, like of a cave or a dungeon or whatever else, and you got to start thinking about food and water, because it's not like you can live down there for. Imagine the goblin caves if we had done food and water, right?
Oh yeah.
They would have introduced things like you would have had to find ways to steal food and get water, and I think it might just make it interesting. It might make it too. Maybe we hold off a little bit just because we're now doing harvesting and all that. So maybe we introduce one of these at a little bit at a time. But it was a good experiment. So that finished the long rest.
Maybe when we
go ahead.
Yeah, maybe when we do a long rest, it would be good to consume.
Yeah, because I'll say right now, I can't drag, like, I have 10 rations, but I can't drag it in there for some reason. Like,
okay.
Add it to the thing. Like, I keep getting an error.
Okay. What error did you get?
It just said I lack permissions to update the chat message.
Okay.
Is what it said.
Well, next time screen capture that. We do it, and then we'll see what it is. Because yeah, it should. If you have food and drink, it should consume one of those out of your inventory. That's what it's supposed to do. So I'll take a look and see if there's a configuration issue.
It might be because it's in my bag of holding.
Oh yes, that's why.
Okay, and so I opened up my bag of holding and was trying to drag it in because it said I could add an item to it, but it wouldn't. That's where I kept getting the error.
I think you have to have it already in your main inventory. That's my fault because I put that stuff in there for you. Rations are heavy as hell, by the way. So is water.
And then, yeah, it also said even though I had the water selected, it said I didn't drink anything for some reason too.
Did you check the box above it?
I think I did. I don't know at this point. I don't remember.
So you have one level of exhaustion, so I will remove that level of exhaustion.
I just got that same message.
Oh no, I
don't know what you did.
I just undid you.
Okay.
So I'm trying to undo you. Okay, exhaustion. There.
Oh, you applied exhaustion to me.
Oh, that's what it was. I'm doing the wrong person. All right, let's see here. Okay. Oh yeah. So this says exhaustion level 1. Let's see if I click that. What happens? Does it remove it?
I still see it a little high.
All right. Let me click this. Oh, I have to go to effects and remove it. There you go.
There we go.
I still have exhaustion.
You shouldn't. I'll check you though. It says it's inactive, but I'll just remove it altogether. How's that?
There we go. It's gone.
All right.
So for some reason, whenever you're doing those actions, Thomas, on your end, I keep getting that pop-up that says I lack permissions for the chat message.
Can you screenshot it for me?
Okay, next time it comes up, I'll.
And whenever you guys get an error like that, if you could just do a quick screenshot so I can, because I don't.
They're like really quick toasts. Like they pop up for
it's like
3 seconds
super
and then
fast.
go away.
Yeah, I have a lot of complaints about their notification system. Like on my end, like when I'm doing a complete update, like I do a bunch of changes and I'm updating the entire Burden of Knowledge campaign, and it's going through all of this stuff and it's sending it into our shared compendium. If anything fails, it flashes a failed and then goes away. And if I'm not watching, I won't know it failed. And then I'll be like, why is this thing not here? It's a pain in the butt. They need a critical error should not go away.
No. Is there a log you can go through to see?
Yeah, you can hit function F12. All right, so I think we're gonna move on. So like it's about 3:30 in the morning. Still dark. It's nice and cool. You guys hear the crickets?
3:30 in the morning. How long does the long rest take?
8 hours. But you guys have done a whole series of weird rests. and time was really progressing organically. So you started your long rest in the evening, and now it's 3:30. Which tracks, right?
okay.
You wanted to travel at night, right? So this will take you through into the morning.
All right. So we do a breakdown camp and just start traveling then?
All right.
Yeah.
You're breaking down your camp. You have a full campsite. You lose 30 minutes for breaking down the campsite. 1, 2, 3. Puts you at 4 a.m. Everyone pop back into their wagons in their respective positions. I wish there was a button I could just put, like, get in wagon. And Tempe isn't back here. And you guys are ready to go. As soon as you guys are all in, Tyros, you call out the move forward call.
All right. Move on.
And you do. Making some pretty good time. Takes about... which way are you heading?
We are heading towards the mines.
So you're heading. So you're not going to go back on the trail. You're going to head off trail towards the mines.
Let me open up the map.
Yeah, hit J, and I'll show you where you were. So let me move to roughly where your party was. We covered the journal functionality, Curtis, and if you didn't hear, hit J, and it'll bring up the journal.
Yeah. I think I would suggest maybe we start heading towards the mines, but like up back towards the trail as well. So not necessarily straight to the trail and then, not up to the trail and then to the east, but kind of northeast towards the trail. So that we're...
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
I don't think we can go through the... Yeah, I don't think we can go through the... what is it? Slempter Spires?
I'm not sure what this is for, but this doesn't give me comfort that we're having to roll something.
No, it does.
Oh, let me...
Oh, even with the 6 and an 8, I'm going to still tell you a little something. So if you open up your journals and take a look at the map again, yeah, you have the the spires. So this really sort of oppressive, scary-looking, unpassable mountain range that stands between you and where you need to get to Tatiamar. So you're going to need to get back onto the Black Road Trail at some point.
Yeah.
Right? You're not too far off of it. You're like, a half an hour through sand. But that half an hour is like, it's not visible. It's not like you can see it, right? You're in the desert, right? So there's a risk that if you're not mindful of your direction, you're going to get lost. So you came directly south to get to this water, found the water. You can try to head towards the mountain, sort of go along the edges of the spires to try to save some time. But your horses are going to suffer from exhaustion by pulling from sand that far. That's the nature check, right?
I would say we go north-northeast. So a little bit of an eastward movement, but really heading north to get back onto the trail.
So towards the E, roughly, in Empire?
Yeah. So not 100% backtrack where we're going straight north to get back to the road, but like heading towards that
Empire.
E. Yeah. Knowing that, as long as we get that, we'll hit the road and be able to get back on.
All right. So I'm updating your party location. So stay on the map. You're about here on the E, and you finally come. You get to that point, and the sand sort of becomes hard. The horses look pretty satisfied, right? And then you continue your journey. So you can go back into the regular mode now. I need to do one more thing. Pushing your luck.
By the way, Thomas, I text you a screenshot of that error that I got.
Perfect.
That I was getting.
That half hour put you to this time. Desert. Damn it. You're all clear yet again. So you guys continue down this road for about, I'd say, another hour. And something wonderful begins to happen. Just over the horizon, you see the sun sort of not quite up yet, but there's still heat rising, and you see the terrain sort of shimmering and shaking. And just off to the right, you come upon an oasis.
Sweet.
So let me give you.
So this is the Oasis.
We made
Let me give you
it.
some narrative. So, like a mirage rising from the unforgiving dust of the Badlands, Seditious's quick oasis emerges as a vibrant, unexpected paradise. Nestled just off the Black Road and cradled by the curve of one of the few desert rivers cutting through the barren landscape, the oasis is a stark contrast to its harsh surroundings. Shaped like a horseshoe, the area teems with a stunning array of vegetation, their lush greenery, a soothing sight for sore, dust-covered eyes. From the moment you step into the quick oasis, you are greeted with an explosion of life and activity. The arid silence of the Badlands gives way to harmonious bustle of commerce. All right, so let's put your time forward a little bit. So it's about 7:30. The arid silence of the Badlands gives way to this bustle of commerce. The hawkers' cries, the clinking of coins, the low murmur of haggling fills the air. Shops, stalls, open-air markets line the streets, their vibrantly colored awnings offering a respite from the relentless desert sun. So yeah, you guys are looking at this, right? And you pull your wagons over. You can see it's a footbridge, right? Probably by design to keep some of the riffraff from bringing carts and other things across. It gives them a little layer of protection. Let me see what you guys can see. I've got to click into the thing. Ah, yes. You hear sort of this lushness. Surprisingly, you're not hearing that the water from that river flow through, and it seems a little low, a little dried up, a little underwhelming. You were expecting this lush, wonderful freshwater river because it's an oasis, and it looks like it has clearly been fed by that, but something seems a little sort of amiss. But you sort of reshift your focus because you smell fresh produce, right? You smell exotic scents and spices. It's quite a lovely, you hear the clanging of a blacksmith, right? After sort of this journey through the desert and so fighting the lamia and the werejackals and the spiders and the dust and drinking sort of salty-ish water, right? And despite your foraging, this is a welcome change. So you are in free movement mode, and I'll let you move your movement. Toth doesn't waste any time.
This might be a good time to break. It's 3:00.
It is a good time to break. We're just going to get across the bridge.
I think the rest of the party would want to be here. Yes,
Yep.
Let's cross the bridge.
Yeah, that's what we're saying. It's like get to the bridge, but only move your distance first, right? Because I'm going to give you a little bit of a narrative that I can catch them up. So Tempe would be right about here for his movement. Okay.
Oh,
so
you didn't. When you said for our movement, you meant not like how far we could walk, just where would we go?
no, I mean how far can you walk?
Okay, because I think Tempe, you moved 50 feet. I don't think you can move that far.
Yeah, I did. I cheated on that one because I couldn't get him to pop into. Well, maybe I can get him to pop into it. I got him to pop into it. It's still a little over, but I didn't want to stack you guys on top of each other.
Yeah.
So, so as you guys you come upon this bridge, you start to see sort of off to the northeast some desert guard. And they're just sort of standing there. Looks like they're guarding, but it also kind of looks awkward. They're sort of standing around with their thumbs up their hiney as they will. They don't look overly scary. They look a bit like mall cops, as opposed to sort of well-trained, right? So like, are these guys are they guns for hire, or what's going on? But they're all in sort of roughly the same outfits, but they're not kept well. They're sort of disheveled, right? But you quickly go, you sort of see that they're sort of flanking what looks like they're sort of flanking Sid. So let's get all the way across you can move all the way across, but not past the guards. And then we're going to stop here. Stephanus is going to stay out to the back. Tempe is going to sort of stay off to the right. So you can move beyond your normal distance. And then Glory is going to sort of hang back a little bit as well. So yeah, you see that there's guards sort of flanking both sides of the door, right? They don't really make any moves, but they sort of look at you with sort of steely eyes. You don't know what their intentions are. It's just sort of unclear. And part of you is sort of wonders like, are they here to keep the Oasis safe, or for some other reason? And with that, my friends, with the sounds of the Oasis, riffling through your ears, we're going to leave you until next week. And all your dilly-dallying was awesome, because I think that I was hoping that you guys would get to play this as a team. So encourage everyone to join next week, because next week's going to be the beginning of something.
Excellent.
I have to remember what I was going to do.
What's that?
We should let Glory get a good understanding about foraging and the alchemy, because I could see her spending an entire episode starting to read all the potions.
I think
maybe we shouldn't do that then.
Yeah, that's going to become her hobby, I think.
Yeah.
I just so that we all remember, even though you said we're not sure if they're trying to keep people in or out, Dinjarin would be the type to say, "Hello, friends," as we walk up. Just so that we remember that, because that's what I was going to do next
all right,
time.
So as you come across the bridge, Dinjarin dumbly is like, "Yo, what up?" And they all spin towards you. And that's where we'll end. That's a better way to end. So your provisions, your carts are across the bridge. You're on the other side of the bridge. You see the entrance. It kind of looks like King Kong with the two torches in the front of the big wooden fence, right? You see what looks to be 3 desert guards on this side and at least 2 desert guards on the other. They're all now looking at you with sort of like, yeah, what? Sort of eyes. And we will pick up here when we next play. And then I will give everyone else that same opportunity to do the harvesting, and maybe I'll even offer to them an async, just like, let's join. They'll be standing here. We won't do any gaming, but they can I can walk them through the experiences if they're interested.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Glory for sure is going to read every book.
We need hardware. We need D&D hardware. I wasn't thinking about this. We need D&D hardware that you can put on your your computer that's USB, right? And when you go into an area like this, I could squirt out the smell of like mangoes and spices. Like, how cool would that be, right?
Smell-o-vision. Just what they've been trying to do.
You know the irony? That could exist.
Well, they tried doing it in theaters.
Yeah, I've been to a theater where they did that. They do that on Soaring in Disney, which is one of the coolest things. Whenever we go over Fiji or wherever the island is in Disney, I just love the smell of that sort of fruity citrus. But I mean, from a D&D perspective, that would be a very easy thing to introduce.
That would be so
I mean, let's be
awesome.
frank. I've played D&D for years, and one thing that happens with D&D is in the real world, you're in like someone's basement, and you're a bunch of smelly dudes, so you get that gross dungeon feeling anyway, right? But anyway, awesome. Well, thank you both for joining. Stefanos didn't miss anything. Hopefully, there wasn't a lot of action. I tried.
Okay.
You guys, there was no encounters.
Don't
Hopefully you love the new tools, right? The new lore. Dinjarin, you weren't here for this, but if you hit J for journal, there's a bunch of tabs. There's map. There's a lore tab that has like.
I was here for that part.
You were for okay.
Yeah,
okay, good.
I heard all that.
So you're all there. So yeah, so you're at an oasis, and there's something up, and this is where we'll pick up next time.
Gyros. I question if we should have just walked across the bridge, or if we should have maybe hit our horses or somehow locked up our carts before we did. But
I'll add this.
That's for another.
You see game. Other carts. You see like you're not the only ones. This is just a viewport you have. There's other carts, right? Like this is a common thing. Like clearly the parking for Sid Dish's Desert Oasis is across that bridge by design. I mentioned that part, right? It's sort of by design.
Yeah.
Right, and that sort of protects them, right? So they're sort
I'm
of.
hoping there's some good shops in here because.
There is. There's some.
Dinjarin wants to do a little shopping.
There is some serious shopping to be done. So I think the next episode, this one was no action for harvesting. The next one's gonna be no action for
shopping.
Yeah.
That's okay.
That's okay.
It's all good. It's all good because you're gonna learn some cool stuff. It's gonna be a lot of fun. And we'll play with everybody else. If you guys want to keep chatting, just let me end the episode and we can chat more if anyone wants to. Let me hit. I'm gonna say my official goodbye, but I'll hang tight. So goodbye, everyone. Let's face it, no one's watching this. but maybe someday.